Welcome back to our training workshop. In our last module, we treated table. That is the last two we treated in our last module. We're starting from multi-line tests. A multi-line test is the tool that is used for annotating or writing tests. Without annotation or writing of tests, a drawing is useless because you won't know what the drawing is. For example, if you have a valve and a T and an elbow, you need to write a test against it showing that this is a valve. That's what we call annotation. Writing the test against the valve to show that it's a valve is what we call annotation. And that is what this multi-line test helps us to do. For example, if this is a spool and I want to annotate it by writing a spool against it, all I need to do is to take the test tool and then I specify my first corner and drag and click. Now the test dialog box comes out. This is what we saw when we used the table command, remember? Good. So I write spool. Now in the table dialog box, we see different text formatting tools. Like here we can play with the text type. This is already in Araya. We can change it to Araya black. We can change it to Araya C. Just play around with the text type. And here we can play with the text height, the font size of the text. Okay, so let's take this to 200 because 2.5 will be obviously very small. We can bold. Oh, sorry, we need to select it first, just like in Microsoft Word, before changing anything like the font size, the font type, which we changed here, then the font size or height. Let's put it at 200, and then we can italize it, we can underline it, we can make it bold, and all of that, just as you do in Microsoft Word. And then after doing all our formatting, if we are satisfied, we hit OK, and that's it. The text comes out. This is very small, so what we need to do is to double click on it, and the text dialog box comes back. We select it and put 800 there, and then tap OK. Okay, we can just click outside to see how big it is going to be. If it satisfies us, we tap OK. So this is how to write tests in AutoCAD. Now after writing these tests, we may choose not to take another multi-line test tool again. If you want to write a test in some other place, all we need to do is to select this guy, come to copy in the modify toolbar. We've not gotten there, but let's just take it. You copy this tool to some other place, drop it there, and then double click on it. For example, if the name of this guy is rec, we can just say rec, for example, and tap on OK. You see, you've written a test on it without taking the multi-line test. So you can actually copy to somewhere else, double click on it, and then modify it to what you like. The last tool in the draw toolbar is AddSelected. Now AddSelected is a very good tool. It's a very useful tool. We can use it to scale an object in the X and Y axis and then add a rotation angle to it. For example, if you have something like this, 1200 by 1200 by 1200, now we drew here with 1200 and we also drew here with 1200. Okay, now what I'm doing is dimensioning, because this is the dimension toolbar. Now the dimensions will not be visible. What we need to do is to go into the dimension editing manager to edit the dimensions so that the dimensions will be bigger and visible. So let's just take a stroll to the dimension tool and do some dimension editing before we come back. Now the very last tool in the dimension toolbar is dimension style. You click on it and the dimension style manager dialog box comes out. So all you need to do is tap on modify. When you modify, it takes us to the modify dimension style dialog box. Now we'll come into this box. We are going to work on symbols and arrows, we are going to work on text, and then we are going to work on primary unit to get our desired dimension. So first of all, I tap on symbols and arrow. Now I change my arrow type to architectural tick. What this guy you see here is actually the arrow. We have different types. You have architectural tick, you have closed fillet. It has changed to this. So what I'm going to use is architectural tick. Then it has a size. Let me change the size to 80. And then I check this box above dimension tests. That's that for symbols and arrows. And I go next to tests. Now under tests, you change the test height. So let me take the test height to 220. And then okay, if this align with dimension line is not checked, you ensure that you checked it. Then very quickly, let's go to primary units. Under primary units, the only thing we are changing is our precision. We change our precision from 2 decimal places, which you can see here, to 0 decimal place, and this is it. And you tap OK and tap close. You can see that your dimension is out now. Good. So good. So this is the 1200 with which we use in drawing the square. Now for AddSelected to properly work on an object, the object must be in a block. So what we need to do now is to make this object into a block. Of course, that is not difficult. We have done that before when we're treating this tool, make a block. So I'm going to quickly make this into a block. Click on make a block. Remember, you pick on your pick point. You indicate anywhere of your choice as your pick point. But let me indicate here. And then I tap on select, click on select object. Select all of these as my object I want to make into a block. Tap on enter. I give the block a name and say OK. So this object has been made into a block. Now what AddSelected will do is that it can scale this object in just this direction, or just this direction, or this direction and this direction, and then add a rotation angle to it if it is so desired. Now let me tap on AddSelected. The reason why this object has to be made into a block is that AddSelected allows you to select an object once. That is why this object has to be in a block before AddSelected can work on it. So I've clicked my tool AddSelected. So I'm going to select object. I select this object I want to add into a block and it picks it up. It's now asking me to specify insertion point. Let me specify here as my insertion point. So now prompting to enter escape factor. Look at your command prompt. Escape factor. So assuming I want to scale this object in both the x and y twice so that it is now 2400. All I need to do is to type in 2 as my escape factor and enter. Now I'm asking to specify my y escape factor, so tap 2 and enter. Now it will not ask me to specify rotation angle. Assuming I want to rotate it by 30 degrees, all I need to do is to type in 30 and enter. So that is it. That is it. So this object has been scaled twice and it has been rotated about an angle. Okay, let me explode it. Good. You saw that when I explode it by separating it now, you see that the true dimension has come out. What I just did is let me go back. Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z. What I just do is to explode it. It's in a block, so when you select one part, everywhere gets selected. So I want to rip it from a block so I can see the true dimension. So I just hit on explode, and that is it. Remember, we scaled both the x and y by 2. That is why we're having 2400. We scaled both the x and y by 2. That's why we're having 2400. And then we rotate by 30 degrees. Now remember, when we wanted to dimension the x and y, we used this linear dimension tool. Now I want us to confirm that the rotation here is 30 degrees. So let's take a line to indicate the horizontal, and then let's come and pick our angular dimension tool, because this is dimension tool, but so all the tools to dimension are here. So I pick my angular dimension tool, I click here and I click here, and that is it. See, that's confirmed that the angle of rotation is actually 30 degrees. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of the draw toolbar. We are going to go into the modify toolbar, starting with erase. But in the process of considering the draw toolbar, we have also looked at tools like copy, explode, and then we even came to the dimension toolbar, where we use dimension style edit manager to set our dimensions. In this particular video, we also used the linear dimension tool to dimension this horizontal linear line and vertical linear line, and then we also use the angular dimension tool, angular, to dimension this angle here. So see you in the next module of the workshop when we start with our modify toolbar.